Good afternoon. Namaskar. Respected Chair of the session, Professor B.P. Sanjay. Respected Director of the Conclave, Professor Upendra Padi. My distinguished panelists, panel colleagues, distinguished academicians and friends, beloved students. It's a great opportunity. I thank the organizers of Media Conclave for this opportunity. As Chair rightly pointed out, it is a very vast area to be covered within 10 minutes or 12 minutes that is given. It is religion and humanity, ethics and values for Atmanirbhar Bharat mission. So I will confine myself, I'll straight away be very specific and straight away go to one part of this issue, that is the focal point, that is ethics and values for Atmanirbhar Bharat. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji announced this Atmanirbhar program, Google claimed that there were more than million searches within few hours trying to find out the meaning, trying to find out the meaning of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So we talk of Jainism, Buddhism, Hinduism, and people struggled hard to just find out what the meaning is, and they Googled it. Millions and millions of searches were made just to find out what this word is all about. So I have divided my presentation into three parts. One is just a few words about Atmanirbharta, and then the media and Atmanirbharta, and then comes the soft power, India's soft power, and then ethics and values of Atmanirbharta. It's, as moderator rightly pointed out, it's a government program, and you have an exclusive web portal, and where it propounds the concept of self-reliance. It is nothing but self-reliant India mission, and it aims to empower. So Professor Ravindran has already warned us using those words, empowerment, but it aims to empower people to become independent through entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship. So it is making ordinary people, making entrepreneurs out of ordinary, very, very ordinary people. The good thing about this is there are a lot of reforms, administrative reforms, we call them as governance reforms, and big policy reforms have been carried out so this is not a welfare program, it's not a freebies where money is distributed to the poor people or the needy, but this is a very constructive program is what we can see, and government is very well prepared to implement this because they have learned the lessons from the implementation of other programs. I'll give you the example of polio campaigns, how polio campaign initially had even Amitabh Bachchan as the brand ambassador, but it failed initially because there were no governance changes. You should always support the admin changes, the infrastructure support. The system has to support the messages in the media. So when you want to have the polio vials in the remote areas, you need to have the proper refrigeration infrastructure, which the country never had. So the country has learned its lessons from its past blunders, and so Atmanirbhar program has all this. They have brought in big financial reforms, and that is the very positive feature of this program. And it says it is creation, it's mere creation of wealth and values. Creation of wealth. I'm reminded of Narayan Murthy of Infosys, who said, to make wealth, create wealth is not a sin, it's not a crime. The means ought to be honest. You have to be honest to create the wealth. So it is very ambitious program where we try to reach the global platform. And we have proved in the health sector with our vaccination, all of us had that Covaxin, and we are very, sure of our Atmanirbhar, our ability to produce, medicines and other infrastructure, equipments and other things in other sectors. So the government claims that it can be a very good model of self-reliance. And this is not mere sloganeering because it has the socio-economic perspective. Now, coming to the media, how did media react to this Atmanirbharta? And this is media. This program was announced in 2020, and the media was reeling under the heavy jeopardy, financial jeopardy, deep financial crisis. There were heavy job losses. Many media outlets were closed. There was low salary. So media could not give the kind of importance that Atmanirbharta program deserved. So, but today we feel that mainstreaming of this Atmanirbhar program is important. Why? Because it claims that it attacks the roots of poverty. So we have redefined the poverty. Poverty is not low income. United Nations says it is not low income or no income, but it is deprivation of the opportunity. So Atmanirbharta says we are creating opportunities. That is where the media should have focused, should have mainstream, because it tries to create opportunities for the society. So that is one aspect of the media, but not much has been advocated in the media portals. Now, the soft power. Atmanirbharta is closely associated, integrated with the soft power, India's soft power. And I have not coined this word, it is coined by Joseph Nye in 1990 in his book, Bound to Lead. He uses this term soft power, and he says soft power is applicable both to cultural and political strategies. But so far we had that misconception that, and in India we are trying to sell soft power in the name, only in cultural factors. And media has reduced all this into cultural products, and because of commodification and all those. But he says, Nye says, it need not be. Even your political strategy on Ukraine can be your soft power. So political strategies, and India has plenty of soft power, and that is where Atmanirbharta can be a viable proposition, because the government is trying to help us understand this as a model of development through entrepreneurship. So they are tapping the skills of the people to come and become independent financially. So it is not just, so Nye introduces three areas where we can work on, and that is culture, political values, and foreign policies. So these are the three areas where we can have soft power, we can tap soft power. India, as all of you know, is the hub of soft power. Your Bollywood, Indian cinema. Now it is no longer Bollywood after this success of Telugu, Kannada, and Tamil films. It is Indian cinema. Okay, and Indian cinema, it is a very good soft power. Then religion, culture, Gandhism, literature, spiritualism, yoga, and Ayurveda are some of the significant products of soft power that can be used as strategies, and that can take us to global platforms as per the vision of the government. Now, the roadmap that has been charted out to the Atmanirbharta is participation. It is a participatory approach, and that is where we need the role of media, the mainstreaming of it. And so we have to have this people's participation to take this to the next level. And you are trying to reach humanity, that's not, it's a big philosophy you have. So we need to work on this ethics and values. What are the ethics and values that are associated with? And in the previous session, we heard the panel speakers on inclusivity. The main value that is required is the inclusivity and the sustainable growth. You cannot have, because you have to reach out the marginalized, you have to have the inclusivity in all sectors, whether it is health, education, even culture, and the freedom. So, freedom should become the new narrative. Amartya Sen uses the word freedoms. So, political freedom, freedom of speech and expression, economic freedom, so freedom of choice, and participatory freedom. So, these are the different freedoms. It comes with a caveat. If you want to implement it on global platform, it comes with a caveat. You are trying to reach the humanity with a model, and you say, I have Atmanirbhar Bharat mission. So this is not an ordinary GNP. It's not. We are not talking about GDP or GNP, though it is a financial policy. We are trying to reach the humanity. So what it requires are the tolerance, inclusivity, freedom of expression, and diversity. So evolve this model on these 4 pillars. It is important because you have a religion, you are in this government, the religion has political approaches, political orientations. You have a different take on politics, and so it is very, very sensitive issue to talk of tolerance. You have to talk, the tolerance is one issue that this model, if it has to go to the global platform, has to address, and the inclusivity, freedom of expression, and the most important is diversion. So Atmanirbharta is the dominant narrative, but if this narrative has to find any meaning, you have to have civils, you have to create, as Jeffrey Alexander says, civil spheres, not just one, but multiple civil spheres to have counter narratives. You are not going to be with just Habermas, because there is criticism of Habermas are having just a low degree of inclusiveness. So we have to talk even of Alexander Jeffrey, wherein he talks about the concept of civil sphere and having counter narratives in the society. Can you give that in the society is the big $1 million question. And everything has to undergo political process. Religion has also undergone political process. So if you want to reach the humanity in the global platform, you need to have the civil sphere, and you have to respect these 4, some of the tenets of the civil sphere is what my take on this issue. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.